Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute. What's up, Sean? I see you in the chat. The credit cousin is in the chat. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. It has been a minute since I have done a live. I don't think I've done a live since before the Hurricane Helene hit our area back in September. So I think that was the last time I've done a live. So I appreciate you all. Of course, there has been a lot of craziness going on in the news since the new administration has come in since January the 20th. So there's been several major things that has happened, but this one right here, I could not come on here and talk about this new change. So if you guys can hear me, please let me know it by giving me a heart in the chat. You know how we do. Give me a red heart or a purple heart, either way, or a yellow heart. Just let me know. Hi, Heather. How you doing? Good to see you again. Well, not see you, but you know what I mean. I appreciate you all. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've done a live, but I could not come on here today and let's talk about this. The CFPB so far is gone, guys. And if you are a returning person on my channel, then you have heard me talk about the CFPB several times in several videos, because the CFPB is very important to consumers such as myself and all of us out here that do any kind of business with money, right? So if you're in here, let me know if you either received or heard of people receiving a check from Lexington Law that if you use that credit repair service at whatever point, if you know somebody that received a check, or if you received a check or you heard about it, drop a 1 in the comments and let me know if you heard about those checks that went out to people that use Lexington Law, which is a credit repair service, and got a refund check, whether it was you, somebody you know, you heard about it, Let me know in the chat if you know anything about those checks that went out. I want to say they went out maybe late December, early January. Some people got anywhere from under $1,000 to over $1,000. I know a lady that I talked to, her friend got over $2,000. So there was a lot of checks that went out from Lexington Law for people or victims of people that signed up for that credit repair agency that pretty much was taking people money and not actually repairing their credit. So let me know in the chat. Y'all are quiet today. Let me know. And it's important. That's why I'm asking you this question, because it's because of the CFPB that people even got those checks from Lexington Law, because the CFPB sued them and sued creditrepair.com for not repairing people's credit and also charging them without actually doing the work. That's the kind of thing that the CFPB does. It goes after these scammers. It goes after these companies. It goes after these banks. It goes after the credit bureaus. Anybody that's not doing right by your money, that's what the CFPB does. And the reason why we even have the CFPB was because of the housing crash that took place back in 2008. That got all those subprime mortgage loans and all those people that lost their homes back then, because you know that they were targeting a certain demographic of people when they was doing those loans that they knew were going to be bad loans that caused our housing market to crash back in 2008. That's why the CFPB was created, to protect us as the consumer. Protect us as the people that are buying goods and services and using banks and using whatever financial stuff that we're using. Like I said, they even regulated and even was over the credit bureaus. So if you were to file a complaint with the credit bureaus, like a dispute or something like that, right? Well, guess what? if you didn't get the answers or the satisfaction that you thought you deserved, then you could have filed a complaint with the CFPB, and the CFPB would investigate it. So that's why this is very important, because without these checks and balances, guess what? These people that's in this new administration will be able to completely run ragged with our money. And there will be no checks and balances. There will be nobody to do anything for us. You might as well say that you won't have any protection when it comes to your financial products and stuff like that without the CFPB being there to step in the gap when things are not being done the correct way. So if anybody, like I said, anybody that had anything, either they was doing business with Lexington Law, somebody that got a check, that's why you got the check. The CFPB has gotten over $21 billion of money back into the hands of consumers from people that are out here trying to scam and scheme off of you. And that's all types of, like I said, that's all types of financial industries. It's in their name, Consumer Protection Financial Bureau. And it has been this administration's goal to tear down these things that protect us. We are definitely in the FAFO. We are definitely in that, right? We are definitely in that. So not even that, but you got credit unions, right? I'm going to pull it up right now. Hold on one second. When this popped up in my email earlier, this comes from the Credit Union Times. And they say the CFPB shuts down credit unions on high alert. How many of y'all are members of credit unions? Drop me a heart in the chat. How many of y'all are members of credit unions? See, all this stuff is things that we use when you want to buy a house. I was just talking to a lady literally probably going on a month ago, because the CFPB was going after Vanderbilt Mortgage for putting people in mobile homes that they knew they couldn't afford. The CFPB was going after Rocket Mortgage because they were trying to deter realtors and brokers from helping people with down payment assistance, right? The CFPB was going after Experian for bogus disputes settlements. That's what I'm saying. That's what the CFPB does. That's what they do. They go after people. They go after people that are trying to screw us over. And so now, when you go to their website, hold on 1 second. When you go to their website now, you get an error page. This is what you get when you go to the CFPB's website. So I need you guys to understand that this is serious. This is serious business. This is your money, your hard-earned money. When you are going out here now and want to buy your first home, who is going to check these people if they're not doing right? Who going to check them? Who's going to check them now? A lot, like I said earlier in this live, if you know somebody that got a Lexington Law check, a check from them, that was because of this right here, CFPB. It was because they sued them for $3.5 billion. I did a live talking about it. You go back into my live streams on this channel. I talked about that when they first sued them. And now y'all got the checks. Y'all got the checks. So now you go on here And there's nothing, because I would get emails, and I was wondering why I had not gotten any emails lately from them, because I used to get emails almost every day, letting me know what they were doing. And as you can see right here, the last time that the blog was even updated was on January the 21st. So that was the day after the inauguration, right? And look what it says right here: holding government contractors accountable for wrongdoing. Okay. So they already had the CFPB on their radar. You see right here, January the 15th, mortgage lenders must comply with the law. No invent loopholes. No invent loopholes. New protections for payday and installment loans take effect March 30th. The CFPB rule protecting payday and installment loan borrowers. You see, these are the things that the CFPB does for consumers, protecting you from unlawful debt collection at work. Right here, December the 5th, creditrepair.com and Lexington Law refunds checks. What you need to know: over 4 million consumers harmed by Lexington Law and the creditrepair.com illegal credit repair activities will receive refund checks beginning in December. That's why I said, if you got a check because you got scammed with Lexington Law, thinking that you was going to get your credit repaired, that check came from the CFPB suing them. And now, as I was saying, the website, which I'm pretty sure these blogs, but it has not been updated since January 21st. Any probably no new press releases. Well, there is one February the 3rd. Talking about what's going on with the statement of designation of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent as acting director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which I'm gonna read an article on all that. Look at this right here, January the 30th. CFPB orders Wise to pay $2.5 million for illegal remittance practices. The CFPB go after these people. Yeah, they go after those type of people. The CFPB, January the 17th, orders Equifax to pay $15 million for improper investigations of credit reporting errors. Equifax, who gonna check them? Who gonna check them now? Right? Who gonna check them? CFP orders operator of Cash App to pay $1.7 million and fix its failures on fraud. Who gonna check them? Who gonna check them? When you got 1,700, right? 1,700 employees that got an email telling them not to go to work yesterday. They got an email telling them not to show up to work. Let me pull that up. Yeah. It's serious business, man. I'm telling y'all. It's serious business. You see it? Trump administration orders 1,700 CFPB workers to stay home. February 10th, workers at the federal government's consumer finance watchdog in Washington was told to stay home Monday after the acting director, newly installed by President Donald Trump, ordered the agency to halt its operations. Around 1,700 staff at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau received an email Sunday from Chief Operating Officer Adam Martinez informing them that the head office would be closed Monday through Friday, according to reports by the Washington Post, USA Today, and CNBC. Russell Vought, acting head of the Federal Reserve Agency set up in 2011 in the wake of the financial crisis to protect consumers from predatory lending by banks and other financial firms, had earlier emailed staff instructing them to cease all supervision and examination, including of financial firms, and stop all engagement with stakeholders. Okay, so CFPB had a lot of irons in the fire, but for people and agencies and businesses and finance things that I was just reading y'all from the newsroom that they were going after, all that's finna stop. I'm committed to implementing the presidency policies consistent with the law, acting as faithful steward of the Bureau's resources, wrote Vaught, whom Trump reappointed as his director of the Office of Management and Budget to run his budget and ensure government programs and agency ally with the president's policies. Effective immediately, unless expressly approved by the acting director or required by law, all employees, contractors, and other personnel of the Bureau shall cease all supervision and examination activity. So understand that this Vaught dude that they're talking about right here, let me skip down, where it says that the loan contributing to CFPB's unaccountability is now being turned off, wrote Vaught, who is a co-author of the so-called Project 2025. The ultra-right master plan for government that Trump disavowed during his campaign, or the same Project 2025 that they said that they didn't know nothing about. The shuttering of the agency came after staffers from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency visited the office Friday, and Musk later wrote in a post on his X platform, CFPB. See, that's the problem. He don't even know how to say it. CFPB is CFPB. See, that's the problem. RIP accompanied by a gravestone emoji. All right. The same thing they said that they didn't know anything about. The Project 2025 has been playing out since day one of the president's inauguration. He couldn't wait to sign all kind of crazy executive orders. Now, like I said, we in the FAFO fund freezing, federal fund freezing, trying to dismantle the FDIC that insures our money in these banks, the NCUA that insures our money in credit unions, and now we're talking about the CFPB. What's next? What's next? So I just want you guys to know how important it is. We think that our vote doesn't matter, and we think that we voting for eggs to come down when we don't understand how economics work. We don't understand how economics work, and they play on our ignorance about a lot of things. There's probably a lot of people that never even heard of what the CFPB does and what it was, and there's some people that got those checks from Lesson and Law and don't have a clue why they got them or who was behind them getting them. And it doesn't matter now if they don't do the checks and balances and the judges, and they don't sue to get the CFPB, just like they don't they getting rid of CDC and every goddamn thing else, right? I'm telling y'all, it's wild out here. It's really wild. And all of these things that they said that they're doing to help lower the national debt, none of it was let's tax the billionaires, none of that. But let's take all the aid and all the protection from the middle class, from the working class, and from the people that has the least. Let's take their stuff. Let's take their benefits. Let's take their protection. How about that? That's what they want. Somebody said, yes, I received a check and result from investigation on Lesson Law by the CFPB. They honestly help consumers by investigating these big banks and credit repair agencies. Yeah. And like I just showed you guys, they go after the credit bureaus too. So when you are disputing things on your credit now, Who's going to check them? There's nobody to check them now. How hard is it going to be if you become a victim of identity theft to get things done and removed off your credit? Because I'm pretty sure the Federal Trade Commission is going to be on the chopping blocks next. You understand that Elon Musk was able to get view only, that's what they say, view only rights to our information. How is it that this tech billionaire has so I'm trying not to cuss y'all. How is it that he is able to have access to our personal information? Social security number, date of birth, address. If you had student loans, they're trying to dismantle the Department of Education. So that too. And if anybody had a co-borrow, like your parent or whatever, you might have got your student loan while you were still living at home with your parent. All of that information. If you've ever filed a tax return, because he got a hold of the payment system. So if you ever filed a tax return, he was able to get that information. How is that? And why nobody talking about that part? And why nobody is trying to do anything about that part? Derek says, this is why we are where we are. Most people don't read or comprehend what they read. Exactly. The whole time that people were telling you about, or telling us, not just you, but us, me included, about this Project 2025 and the things that it would do to our government, to our democracy, to our constitution, is all coming to pass, and it hasn't even been a full month. It's February the 11th as I'm doing this live right now. It hasn't even been a full month. And all hell is literally breaking loose, right? And this is not fear mongering, because I don't do fear mongering, but I do believe in the facts. I do believe in looking at what's real. And what we're talking about here on this live is real. This is real. As the kids say, no cap. And we think that people say, well, I don't get into politics. I don't get into politics. You don't have to. Politics get into you. Everything you do is political. From the street you ride on, when you have to vote for your local officials and whether they're going to fix the things that need to be fixed in your community, or do the things that need to be done in your community, in the area that you live in. It don't matter if you get into politics or not. Politics is getting into you. So you don't have to. You could just run around here and just be ignorant. And they playing and they hoping that you do. They hoping that you don't check into nothing. They hoping that you don't pay none of this any attention. They hoping that you continue to look at the stuff that don't matter as a distraction. Who cares if Diddy's going to jail? Who cares? Who cares if Drake lost the beef between Kendrick Lamar? Now I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan, don't get me wrong. But who cares? A lot of this stuff is smoke and mirrors, so that you're not looking at what's really going on. So you're not paying attention. And we have to wake up, because these things will affect us. They will. And we're going to feel it now. It's not, and this is now. This is not, we got a few more months, or the president, any president, when they come into office, they trying to make the biggest impact in the first 100 days, honey. We ain't even hit 30 days yet. They trying to make the biggest impact in the first 100 days. That's what they all do. They all do the same thing. They want to make the biggest impact in 100 days. And everybody like, well, we survived the first 4 years of Trump. Well, guess what? Trump didn't have the playbook that he got now, because they didn't think he was going to win. So it was a surprise for them. And it was definitely a surprise for him. But they ready now. They ready now. They already had the plan. And as long as they keep on pinning us against each other and keep on making us think that one class is better than the next class, instead of us coming together like me and my husband talked about, they're going to always win. Hate is going to always win because we won't stick together and we won't educate ourselves because we think we might be better than the next person. And it ain't going to happen to us. Y'all know me. If y'all are a subscriber of my channel, then y'all know sometimes when I get on these lives, I get on my rants. And that's the reason why I haven't been on here as much. You know, after the hurricane that came through my town and in my area. I'm in like the Lakelands area of South Carolina, kind of upstate. It kind of changed me. You know, it kind of changed me a lot. I ain't gonna lie. Because a lot of times we do think that something won't happen to us. Like we're untouchable. Like we know life be lifing, but really sometimes you think that things can't touch you. And I think that that's why we in this era of FAFO. Because I think a lot of people that voted, especially against their own interests, when they voted, they was hoping that it would happen to somebody else on the other side, and then thinking that it was going to happen to them, and then it wasn't going to be brought to their doorstep. But they are effing around and finding out, because the ones that did not do the research or did not look into it, unfortunately, the ones of us that did are going to suffer for their ignorance. And that's usually how that goes. So, with that being said, I know this is a finance channel and I am creating another channel. So I'm going to put the link in the comments for y'all to follow me on my other channel. It's called Star on Everything. On Everything. Because we're going to be talking about a whole lot more of this. You know, I brought this conversation to the Star Finance channel because it has something to do with money. But we're going to talk about some of this other stuff. If y'all are interested in it, I'm going to put a link down into the, I'm going to put it in the comments of this video after the video ends. And if y'all don't mind coming over to, you know, subscribe to that channel, we're going to get it popping over there as well. Let me pull up some more of these comments because they look really good. Let's see. Dizzy said the whole plan is to keep you blind. These celebrities are in on the play. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I swear I don't doubt it. All right. We as Black people refuse to stand together in the most racist country on the planet. Facts. A lot of people didn't vote because they were being told not to. They were told to only vote for local candidates. Facts. Their ignorance and their racism. Let's see, NC legislators was discussing $540 million in aid today. Those people need that money while they are discussing. Yeah. Yep. I looked at something earlier, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I was listening to a podcast. I haven't actually did the research because I didn't have time today. But they were saying that, and y'all let me know if y'all heard this too, that they were saying that they are trying to pass something that women that are married, that they're trying to take your voting right because your name does not match your birth name on your birth certificate. Y'all let me know if y'all heard something about that. I got to do some more research. Something about an HR 22 or something like that. Y'all let me know if y'all heard that, because that is a form of voter suppression. And don't be surprised. Our president said in one of his rallies that Christians vote this time and you'll never have to do it again. So it's one of those things where we can continue to be ignorant and not pay attention, because like I said, a lot of people, I don't want to get into politics. And I was one of them people too. But I had to wake up and realize you don't have to get into politics. Politics is already in you. Everything you do is political. You hearing about Trump doing the 25% tariffs on aluminum and steel. And now you got the owner of Ford, the CEO of Ford, talking about this is going to cause trouble and chaos because a lot of the stuff that we get comes from other countries. A lot of stuff. And not even if we make it here, we still outsource a lot of stuff from other countries just because we don't have the resources here to do it. Right? So what that's going to happen? People didn't even know what tariffs was. And he kept talking about tariffs the whole time when he was in office, when he was running for re-election. He kept talking about tariffs. And it was people that didn't know what a tariff was. You know? So what if a company, okay, I'm gonna take my business for one. I make handmade candles and bath and body stuff. I don't make my jars. I have to get my jars from the supply company. The supply company gets my jars 9 times out of 10 from China or some other country over there that makes those jars. Dirt cheap. They pay, they upsell it to me, and then I have to pass that cost along to my customer. That's how it works. If I want to make money, I can't eat the cost. So guess what? The company that I buy my jars from, they're not going to eat the cost to get those jars into America from China or wherever the jars were made. They're not going to eat the cost. They're going to pass it down to me. I'm going to buy the jars, and guess what? I'm going to pass it down into the price of the item that I made. And so, like somebody just said right here, Yep and Canada already reacted with their own tariffs. Mexico trying to do the same. And that's what's going to happen. You can't be threatening folk with tariffs and don't think that they're not going to retaliate, because guess what? We need them too. We need them too. And while they're talking about they want to it's all kind of crazy, I'll tell you. It's all kind of crazy, you know. From South Africa to Gaza, you name it, right? You name it. It's all kind of crazy. You worried about building resorts over there in Gaza and moving out those people and bringing in the Afrikaners over here as refugees or whatever, right? Because I guess they the right hue, okay? Because you want to get rid of the black and brown people that are immigrants here, but you want to get the right ones. Okay. I see what's happening. I see what's happening. I see exactly what's happening. And I hope y'all do too. I hope y'all do too. And start paying attention to your local governments, because a lot of these people that are in these seats, judges, you name it, Senate, all these different seats, these are people that we elect. These are elected officials. These are elected officials. They even talking about I was looking at a podcast last night, and they were talking about because Elon was able to get a hold of our personal information, that people that got student loans might be able to get those forgiven just because of the Privacy Act on that information through the Department of Education. It's crazy. It is crazy, y'all. And that's why we got to have these conversations. Like I said, you don't have to look at the news. You don't have to pick a side. But I would tell you right now, you do not want to vote against your own interests for you and your family and your future. Like me, I have a 23-year-old son. When I vote, I think about him. I got a 7-year-old niece. When I vote, I think about her. I think about what's going to affect them, because one of these days I'm not going to be here. How is that going to look for them long term? Because a lot of times, and that when a president come into the office, right, some of the things that they do it don't even take effect until the next presidency. So a lot of the effed up things that Trump did when he was in office from 2016 to 2020, it didn't even manifest until Biden got in the office. So whatever Biden was trying to do to reverse a lot of that he was doing, but because the hate and the misinformation, right? Trying their best to unravel it as quick as they can. Trying their best. And we had just got right with inflation, and the interest rates was just coming down. It was just starting to come down. I think our first interest rate was lowered in September. And I think we might have had one more before all of this. So everything was starting to come back down as far as like the interest rate for buying homes and stuff like that. All that was finna start to level back out. It was starting to turn back into our favor. Not anymore. Not anymore. You're right. It is going to get worse. It is. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Again, I'm gonna leave my link to my new channel that I'm starting so we can have some more of these conversations that's outside of the realm of finance on that channel. I'm gonna leave that in the comments as soon as this live stream ends. Y'all, I appreciate you all commenting and being in here with me. And guys, make sure that they wanna make the term woke a bad term. Woke don't mean nothing but that you are aware of what's going on. That's all. And if you are aware, you are an enemy. If you are aware. If none of y'all have read that book, 1984, by I think it's George. I got it over here somewhere. I can't remember. 1984. Y'all need to read that. Read that. Put that in your reading list. A lot of stuff hides in plain sight. Somebody told me that's it right there. George Orwell. Thank you, Adina. I appreciate you. 1984. It's even a movie. You can, if you can find the movie on one of these apps, check it out. Check it out. It's real talk. It's real talk. I'm telling you. So again, I appreciate y'all chiming in with me, and make sure that y'all are paying attention. Pay attention. Don't be distracted. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention, and also be aware of where you're getting your information from. Cause some of these news outlets, they are side with one, side with the other one. But as I always say, you got the truth, and they got their truth. They got their truth over there, but somewhere in the middle is the absolute truth, and we gotta look somewhere in the middle. And so therefore you got to go to some sources that are not mainstream to get your news. You can't always get your news from the mainstream media. You got to also get some of these independent ones that are really out here in the trenches and seeing what's really going on. Because that's one way that they can control you is through the media. So we need channels on YouTube, and we need things that are going to actually tell us what's going on, because they're going to eventually try to silence the ones that are going to be the truth ones, because like I said, they try to use the word woke in a negative connotation when they know it's all woke is that you are aware, and it's not a new term. People been waking up for centuries, right? And trying to fight for our rights. So it's not like it just come around. It's just a new way of them trying to use a term to describe a certain demographic of people that they want to discriminate against. So I appreciate y'all again. Let me go ahead and drop off. We're about to be 40 minutes in. Again, I'm going to leave the link to my new channel in the comments after this end. And I appreciate all the love. Y'all be safe. Stay prayed up. Watch, as my grandma say, watch as well as pray. And make sure that you all are loving on each other, y'all. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night.